Yo, right here, you live right now. I told y'all before, and I'm gonna tell y'all again. I got my man Cuban Links in the building. Benny Negro on location. Big shout out to my man Eduardo Barbershop for doing what they do, you know what I'm saying, having us in here. Big shout out to all the photographers. Barry B-side videos is in the building too, doing what he do. So I'm not gonna keep y'all waiting too long. I'm gonna go straight into my man Cuban Links right here.
Yes, yes.
Representative. This is history in the making. History in the making right now.
Yes, yes.
And we're gonna go from the beginning all the way to where we at right now. Beginning to the end. Straight like that. This is what we're gonna do. So Cuban, man, what's been up with you, man? How you been?
Just grinding, man. You know, this music is my first love, so you know I never gave it up ever. Even through all the obstacles a nigga go through when he is in his game.
Right.
You know, regardless, you know, the hip hop love and you know the music just never stops. You know what I'm saying? So I kept, you know, grinding after the Terror Squad days and all of that.
Right.
It's just the avenues to get my music out there has been a little slimmed down.
Okay.
But as far as like me making music, I still been making music, and
I want to take it from the beginning, because there's a lot of, I mean, hip hop is all over the world now.
right.
You got hip hop in China, you got hip hop in Japan, and then come full circle back to the United States. Of course, New York is where it's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I wanna get the feeling of when you first started rapping and the history behind you and Big Pun and how that all came about.
I mean, when I first started rapping, like I barely knew English, so you know it was just like me fresh off the boat.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I
You didn't know English, yo?
Nah,
I never knew that.
I didn't know no English. I went to the Scarface shit in 1980. Remember the Scarf at the beginning?
Yeah, I remember.
That's called the Port of Mariel.
Right.
If you do your history and that, you see it for real, like live footage. Like I came through that
Get
with
out.
me, my father, my sister, and my mother.
What?
And we came over here. We spent 6 months in Florida after we got our papers and all that shit.
Yeah.
They release you. And then I went to Puerto Rico for 3 years.
Okay.
9 years old, I came out here.
Yeah.
But I ain't know no English. Like I was, you know what I'm saying, from there on, it was like me starting over. But you know, when you little like that, you know, you adapt to anything. So like the English was pretty easy for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, I was right there in 164th and Sheridan, like in the Bronx.
Oh, get out.
So you know, I grew up there.
Yeah, that's definitely the hood.
And you know, I learned English through my niggas in the street. Like my dudes, they know Spanish. I was rocking with my dudes, like, and you know, I learned English, the swagger, you know what I'm saying, and all that. It's a learning experience when you're that age.
Right.
And it's just something about the hip hop, the music, it was the graffiti, it was the break dancing, you know, everything, and you know, just took over. And you know, I loved it. That became me. Like,
back to you meeting Big Pun, like, you remember the first time y'all got to kick it and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Pun was like, you know how you grow up in the hood and you know, like a nigga like me was always in the basketball courts, you know, playing ball and all of that. So it was like the little biddies, and it was like the big men court. They had their little games over there by 158, you know, junior high school 158. But Pun used to always like roll through, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know, chill there and play ball.
Right.
And he was the only Spanish nigga like really balling like that. Besides like me, my man Lau, and a couple of other dudes, but you know what I'm saying? But that's like our neighborhood. That was our neighborhood. And we knew each other from like the basketball, say what's up and all that. We played with each other and all that. But then like when we got close, like my, you know, with Triple Sace,
right.
I brought him to my crib. And niggas just throwing rocks in my window at like 9 in the morning. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I got up, see a big dude there with a Carhartt suit, and I see Sace. And Sace was like, you know, but because he came back, he was kind of slim, like Pun when he was playing ball,
I saw the picture.
he was slimmer.
Yeah.
So he came back a little heavy set,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, with the Carhartt suit looking crazy, looking like Chainsaw Massacre. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, come on, all right, I'm coming downstairs and we chill. Nigga, you know, like that's when I really got to know, you know what I'm saying, his family, like Pun's family, Liza, Amanda, like he had only Amanda at that time.
Okay.
You know, and then from that day, he kidnapped me that day, he stood a whole week in his house.
Right.
And forget it, the rest is history. Like, you know what I'm saying?
real,
Became
man.
like
That's
best
sort of
friends.
race.
The rhyming came, of course, as a hobby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we really didn't pay too much attention to it.
Right.
Because it was more about just that brotherly love, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Just
right.
chilling with your dude like that. Then, you know, we found out actually, you know, how deep we was into the hobby of rhyming. Like, because I used to write my shits when I was like in school and all that. So they didn't know that. We didn't never poly like that.
Right.
And then when, like, Sace was the musical guy. He had a group already. He was doing his thing.
Oh, wow.
So like he put us on the spot to rhyme. And then I heard, you know what I'm saying, Pun. He was Moondog Punisher at the time, though. He was Moondog at the time. He was Moondog at the time.
Okay.
And you know, I heard him and he spit some shit. Brothers Ride to John, like the first rhyme he ever kicked. And I was like, yo, this nigga nice. Like, yo, shit. You know, besides everything else, he already had the charisma.
Right.
He had the know-how, the knowledge, and just his personality just lit up the room. So he had that. But when I heard him spit, then I was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He do that too, because he loves singing, but he started spitting. So then we just got together, like, you know, Sace was always nice. So we made a little group called Full Eclipse at the time. That's how we got together as far as like the music part. You know, but besides that, like the Joes and all of that, the game that came from Forest Projects,
right.
which was like a block away from where we used to rest our head at.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, when we finished like a couple of songs, like niggas all knew each other. So, you know, B, Little Heck and all of them, those are our niggas too.
Right.
It's just that Joe was doing his thing with his own thing.
And Joe already started his career already.
Yeah, he was already doing him. He was,
right.
He came out with the Represent album and all that.
Right.
I introduced him to Pun, because, you know, at the end of the day, Pun, like the ranch niggas fuck with Forest niggas, but,
right.
you know, that little middle shit is always there.
Always there.
And I used to fuck with both of them, so,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I knew Joe through baseball shit and, you know, Sace and all that, so one day I called, you know, Joe went to the grocery store and I went to the back where he was at and I was like, yo, my nigga, I want you to hear my brother right now.
Right.
Come on. You know, he was like, all right. You know, he still had that attitude, acting like he's that shit, whatever. But, you know, we knew each other, but anyway, we get to the front, you know what I'm saying? I told him, you know, introduce him, yo, it's my nigga, Moondog, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And just Pun blew his mind away with one rhyme. That nigga was like this. Yeah, but at that time, the nigga Joe was, you know, be very protective about the position that he was having. Like, as far as like, he didn't want competition. He saw him as competition.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we made it to a point of, if you don't join us, then you're just gonna lose out, nigga. Then we'll be arch enemies. But just, at the end of the day, we're not gonna stop doing what we do.
Right.
So he came to the conclusion it's better to, you know what I'm saying, join in and be part of things. And he took leader position on that, as far as like exposing our talents to the rest of the music industry. And then, you know, that's when the deals came and
so your first
Capital
deal,
Punishment came
your
on.
First deal.
It was really Pun. Pun was the first deal.
Okay.
But Pun set that off. He set that whole Terror Squad thing off.
Right.
And then the money came, then the new deals. You know, they saw me with Pun. Actually, I was on first. Me and Pun got on at the same time, ironically. Like when we did Off the Books, the Beatnuts put us on that track, but they put really Pun on that track.
Right.
Pun brought me along.
Okay.
And they liked my shit so much, they kept me with it.
Wow.
So, you know, it was a perfect match. But, you know what I'm saying, me and Pun got our first start at the same time, as far as like our music to the world.
Right.
To be really on the radio and all that, like I got to experience that with my brother, like firsthand.
Where were you when you first heard your music on the radio? I know you gotta remember
Well,
that.
before that, I mean,
The first
like,
time you ever heard yourself.
ever heard myself, that's had to be when Melly Mel and Scorp and them, they had a little show on Hot 97. I forgot the name of the show. But they took us from the Playhouse, from a strip club out here. We was doing talent shows.
Right.
And they asked us to go to the radio station. And they put us on their show, man. And that was the first time we ever like blazed the radio station.
Oh, that's hot.
So, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Melly Mel, man. Big shout and Scorp.
Melly Mel.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
But that was the first. Then we of course, you know, you had to record it back then. So I told my sister record and all that. So I got home, I heard myself on the radio.
Oh, wow.
But live on the radio, like out of just impulse, like I was on Forest Avenue by Forest Projects, in the grocery store, and everybody was there. Joe, Showbiz, the whole DITC.
Yeah.
And I was just walking by to just check them. And as soon as I stopped by, nigga, you know, Showbiz had the convertible, black shit, Mercedes. And Hot 97 Flex was blasting off the books.
Wow.
So when Off the Books came on, I was like this. I was like I was surprised. Like I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that from that record. So I heard my voice right after Pun, and we was like, oh shit.
I wanted to pretty much fast forward the situation a little bit because I know the world, they want to hear this.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the way you look at
What,
it.
the
like,
beef part?
Yeah. You like.
Come on. That beef is already said and done. We stood too long. I stood too many years on it. Like actually, but it needed to be done. I'm not saying I regret it. I'm just saying it needed to be. Like even the beef, the actual beef that started it, it was bitch ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Streets don't give you points for that. Real niggas don't give you points for shit that happened. Because at the end of the day, it was just like, it was put out there as a family thing.
Right.
Terror Squad was a family thing out of nowhere. Pun passes away, and now like the your up next guy is in a club, and he get his face cut. We had a fight. Something happens from the back. And next thing you know, Sace is not down no more. So it's in a business thing, like if you smart and you did your homework, you know what he was doing.
Right.
It's just niggas like me would get caught up in the love part.
Right.
Cause it's like, my brother won't do that to me.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when we're in that circle, it's like that was my mentality. I was like, family, this is family.
Right.
We came out here on the screen. We know on the screen we family, but behind the scenes we family too.
That's right.
So for him to pull a bitch ass move like that, it was never respected, but he definitely capitalized on the business side.
I remember at the time I interviewed my son.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember at that time, we had the whole Bam Bam Boogie thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to at least talk about that a little bit because I remember that time when you guys was rolling in the whole 50 Cent, everybody was talking the whole.
That was a good movement. That was a good movement.
I want you to clarify for the world, like what actually happened with that movement from the beginning.
I mean, that movement was beautiful, man. It started from the ground on up, man. I remember I seen P.O., my man P.O., and This Is 50. He was just going in on Joe, right? And I was like, damn, okay. At that time, I'm like, all right, anybody, you know what I'm saying, rocking like that, I love that nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But besides that, like P.O. was close to my man Gilly like that.
Right.
And then, it was him and Gilly that brought the idea that they wanted to do something from the Bronx, like it's like the five heads,
Right.
the five heads of the Bronx. So, they included me with it. It was Mice, it was Lord, and then the two young boys, Hocus 4/5,
Yeah.
and that's one. You know what I'm saying? And Drop, and actually Drop.
Right.
But Drop got caught up early with shit, so he had to do a little time.
Yeah.
But
I remember promoting mostly material.
so it was a beautiful
On
moment. I mean,
MySpace.
what was Hoke and that's one, like the young boys, they gave me that energy.
Yeah,
like
yeah, the energy
they took
was
me
crazy.
back. They took me back to the Full
Energy
Eclipse
was
days.
crazy, man.
When we used to go to the hallway and rhyme, like
Yeah,
that's
man.
something that was deep, with all the shit that was happening around me with the business.
Right.
When that came along, he just like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And then how that whole 50 thing came about.
And we just made enough noise. Like we made enough noise. Of course, me, I was very, very vocal
Right.
with my feelings about Joe.
Right.
So at that time, I was still making music, saying certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? About him also, like disrespecting him.
Right.
So 50 always loved that because at the time,
Yeah.
at the time, you know what I'm saying, he had a little war with him. So
Right.
it only made sense if he backed
Who
up this
hollered at
side.
who? He
And
hollered
Joe
at
had.
you?
No, he didn't really holler at me. It was just.
Okay.
It was just something that was done through the background, where he reached out and just said, he stamped us. Like he stamped us, which in the art of war, that's a beautiful thing to do. But besides that, he gave love on the music side,
Right.
and we was starting some business relationships at the time.